I remember I was in my mother's belly, and she walked. She was pregnant. I think almost 8 months pregnant with me, and she walked the bridge to go see Martin Luther King at the mall. Her and my aunt Dump. They walked together. Can you imagine? We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart. Being a mother, my mom was an alto at Peace Baptist Church in Washington, D.C. This was my first hurt. There's 4 types of oppression. There's cultural, institutional, interpersonal, and personal. I've been oppressed all 4 ways. This is only one part of the story, but Peace Baptist Church, Gales, Northeast D.C., Washington, D.C. My mom was a member of the church, the religiosity of it. She worked in the hospitality committee. She gave her rent money to the church. My mom got sick. She went to the church for 40 years, over 40 years. When she first got to D.C. from North Carolina, Peace Baptist Church. My mom got sick and shut in. They came for a little while to visit her, maybe 2 weeks. We didn't see them anymore. I was a kid and my mom got sick. I didn't know that she was about to die because I was busy, because evil had come into my home, because I think when my mom carried me in that we shall overcome, I think God heard my mama. You seen the matriarch, you seen the strength. Amazonian tribe. This is courage. All I need is a little courage. I digress. I digress. The new mantra for this what I'm going to be doing next, and this is the last thing because I'm a little tired. I'm waiting to get back on Facebook because Jezebel, you sent those minions. They came. But you don't know what you sent me. You sent me an army. Potakaye. Desolation. Desolation of sin. We'll get to Revelations 18. That comes after 17. See, all of this stuff is getting ready to happen. And then Revelations 18, it talks about doubling unto her. I've already doubled unto her. I don't even know how many people, how many men. Not near woman. Men. They lusted first with their eyes. But they didn't know that the attraction was God. God knew each one of them in their hearts. And he's bringing them to the light. And he's taking back that which you stole, Jezebel. Those are kings. Each and every one of you on my line. I even had somebody, I'm so blessed to have you. I'd rather have you than anyone who got disturbed from you being a little sick, a little aggressive, a little lonely, a little hurt, desperate, thirsty. You don't go and friend someone and then immediately go into their inbox and then harass them over and over and over with a video call. Constantly. I had to turn my phone off. I was so upset with you. Your father was not happy. But I saw one name. Thought it was a woman's name. It was the EMMA. I'm American. Emma. I was like, oh God, a woman. Please help me. Because my phone was going beep, 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 slash, slash, beep, 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 beep. What are you doing? Why are you there? Are you there? Love, I love it. Oh, marry me, please, please. Enough is enough. I saw Ima, but it was actually Inu. Prophet, I thought it was Prophet Emma. There was Prophet Inu. Prophet Inu told me he said, I anoint my head with oil when I prophesy. I immediately did it. And I've never felt the experience that I felt before. And I thank you, Prophet, for saving me, because I knew the day was going to come, but I didn't know it was going to come like that. I didn't know how it was going to come. But we got, I have an army now. I got a reformation and a reparations army of men. Boy, God, thank you so much for coming. God sent you. That's so. Our new mantra. Let's give it that. For our new program, I'm going to tell you about it. I can tell you briefly. Y'all can hear me, right? This is from my sister. My sister was institutionally hurt because the dysphoria, you destroyed our families, the legal system. She got caught up in the legal system. Legality, the falseness of that. But I keep this, I cherish this, because this was my twin. And when our parents died, she was all I had. It was close to me. But I knew if we stayed together at that time, because we were in destructive patterns, I had to make a decision to say, we can't be together. I was so afraid. I didn't know. My mom just died. I didn't know what was going to happen. She went one way. I went another way. I stayed in D.C. Carolette, she's an artist. She's an artist. So my sister Lisa. And you'll meet her soon enough, because I'll be passing the mic to her once you invite me to speak about the little book. Carolette, this is humble gratitude, because she knew of the reprobate minded in jail, godly woman. Took her from her 5 kids. He systemically destroyed my family. Carolette, it is good for me that I have been afflicted. The pain I've caused cannot change my position. These chains have put a hole in my heart. But when I close my hands to say a prayer, my God hears my cry and hears thy heart. To my little sister Carol, the artist Lisa Alley, L.A. They always like that L.A. stuff. Anyway, our new program, my mommy and me. It's a National Committee for People of Color's Reparations. You can't see it, but this is for me. Just listen. National Committee for People of Color's Reparations and Reformation Movement. We have one mission statement: to alleviate systemic racism in all its manifestations, once and all, from all throughout the United States. I had got this together, and this will be established. This is established 2020, because we're going to get this done before the year goes out. We got enough time. It don't take but bam, do it. Headquarters, Washington, D.C. Going to get with Mayor. See if she can find us a spot. I understand that the NAACP, I don't know where they're at yet, but I think they got a headquarters here in D.C. Good. Okay? So anyway, this, let me tell you why we need to have this. Give me 1 second, because I didn't know which way I was going to go with it. So, a who. So this is going to be all over the place, but I know where everything is. So here we go. When I break things down, when I try to get to the gut and when I try to break it down and find out what is this about, what is going on. Okay, so I break it down: who, what, when, where, why, what. Let me see how I can get in there and find out what is the situation going on. Who is responsible for us having to set up a national committee for people of color's reparations? You owe us something. And reformation. We need to reform some things, because we're not going to continue to move as things are now. We're just not going to do it. So who's responsible? Evil is responsible. White supremacy, European concepts, they're the stronghold. They want to govern America, regardless that it is a country that they don't even care about us. And so we have here two manner of people. We have white supremacy here, and then that's the evil, because that's the thought, that's the systemic racism. And then we have the children of God who are housed here. We're divided. We'll get into it. I've researched already. I know why we have the division. But anyway, we're divided. But America, Babylon must fall. And a bourgeois. I don't know how you're going to do that. Brexit. I don't know how it's going to do it. But a place of healing. America becomes a place of healing. And then it becomes an east versus west. The east side over there, because it's like picture God dropped down two manner of people. You go this way, you go that way. Good went to the west. Bad, y'all went with y'all thinking to the east. Conquered everything. Conquerors, crusaders, Vikings, blah blah blah. You went to war, blah blah blah, this that, right? But they have the yoke. The west side has the yoke. All right, let's keep it going. Also, too, who do we need in order to run? Who do we need in order to run such a committee like this? A national committee for all people of color. For our reparations, you owe us each culture you've dogged out. From who you stole it from, who you imposed labor on, who you enslaved. It wasn't no slavery. You enslaved. You came and took. Can't wait to dissect that one. More say about that. Yeah. Those are that. We're gonna use the same. I'm gonna use the same Hitler I'm gonna use the same Hitler theories. Propaganda. I'm on your social media. We're gonna retrain. We're gonna reprogram their thinking. We're gonna make them hate the Jews. Go la labor otra se. Where we going? So who's responsible to run this? Okay, here we go. So we need community whistleblowers. Each and every one of us has something to do. The adults, children, you hood boys, because y'all done seen. You can't tell me nobody in Ward 7 and Ward 8 in Washington D.C. don't know me. I'll be on the buses. I'll be everywhere. I'll be anything, anywhere, whether it's Ubers, Lyfts, whatever, restaurants, whatever, all over D.C. And each and every time, some of you men have already had an interaction with me in D.C. I just had on a 70 bus 2 nights ago when I went to see my friends. You remember that? You remember me going to a homeless man because he was talking out the side of his neck, right? And let me tell you this too, don't you? If you ever get to see this, you remember me putting this in your face and telling you the power of Christ compels you. You 6'4" nigga, you didn't come past this. And I put it right in your face, calling me a bitch. Who the fuck are you? I told you who the fuck I was. Did you test me? No, because the power of Christ compels you. You will come to this when you see this. You'll be like, that's that woman. You come as you sit. All of y'all who have affected, who I taught you a lesson in my 53 years in the streets, wherever I lived at, whatever. Anyway, okay, so we need community whistleblowers, hood boys, girls, women. We need everybody, even the kids, the children. We need everybody to get involved in this committee. And then there's a membership. There's no dues, right? But so how we can keep, we're going to have task force that are set up in each community. And these community members are going to run it. And if we have to get sub-district representation or whatever we need to do to make sure that we cover every single area like FEMA does, we're going to model FEMA. So when there's an emergency in one of these people of color community, when you federal government people, before we Brexit and make a new America, Want to say we got to still deal with this until you realize you will let God's people go. We're going to reform. We don't need you anymore. We have enough African American, enough people that have worked in the federal government, right? They're working at home now. You're paying them. They're we don't need you anymore. We'll take them, and we can run our new government. The police, we'll take the police. You've already trained them. We'll take the military. You've already trained them. I'll get my guns from Colombia. I will find somebody. We will fund it. You think my nephew's in the army gonna shoot me when I stand up and come and get the keys to the White House? Come on now. It's got to be some changes. Even the Democrats, I'm happy. Biden, I don't know, but you better come right. I suggest you break that line, break that party line, because that's division. That's what God is telling me to tell you, Biden. You get this, you get Congress straight, you get legislation straight. No more division. Y'all get it together. Who says we can't change this shit? We're gonna have a black card. You parents. Once when the riots started, I established this committee. God gave it to me in 3 days. 2 days, 2 or 3 days. I started, we need a black card, right? We got to have an ID card for the government, but just for our kids as parents, to be safe, members of this committee, we're going to have a black card. So, when my son, when anybody else, somebody leave out the house, anybody, any parent or anything like that, your kids, right? I had to ask other parents, would you feel more comfortable when your kid leaves the house if he had a black card on him, a membership card? It would have his name, information and stuff like that. We'd have a logo. Even at the bottom of it is follow effective community policing. You can harm me. I mean, you can arrest me, but you cannot kill me. You can search me, but you cannot beat me. We got to put the little bullet points if we must do that. But when an officer, and I went another step further, I surveyed officers. Because I said, I went to officers, they be sitting around or whatever. I said, let me ask you something. If we set up a blah, 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 when you went up to a child, and you went up to a kid or whatever, and he was in a situation or whatever, and he put out his black card, would that make you police him a little bit differently? Would that make you not want to slam him against a brick wall and turn him around if you knew that this one child that's out here has millions and millions and millions and millions of people of color out there with them too, because we're going to start watching you. I did just like that in the police officer's face. He was taken aback. It's like, shit, I'm going to get caught. Anyway, but he gave me a fair answer. And he said, yes, it might change. He tried to say that it wouldn't change the situation. I know I probably thought that might have been a little bit arrogant, but I have a feeling. I got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Oh, I got a feeling. I got a feeling that I think it'll work. He might have had a white supremacist mind. We don't know. Too many people. So anyway, there's a black card thing for the membership, and who would run our committees? We got enough people. We got enough people on the system at home. We got enough community people that can get the information together. That can run our offices or whatever. And we need to get attached one database. Boom. We'll get it together. We will get it together. First, we'll establish the committees, establish the local committees, jurisdictional, blah 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 blah. Partnership is, you never want to reinvent the wheel. There are LLCs out there already. There are nonprofit organizations out there. And what we want to do in our program is to link them all together. If something is working really, really well in the community, we want to implement, we want to make that the pilot program. Like I have I work for an organization called Turning the Page. I would like to, ask my friend Jason King. He's a Jewish guy. I like his program on going into the inner city schools. He promoted literacy because it's very, very important. Now, for whatever reasons he chose to do that, I thanked him for doing that, and I worked well with him. I'll give you a wink. Don't be mad at me, Jason. Anyway, so we want to work together. So we got the black card, and then who would run it would be the whistleblowers and everybody. Let me see to make sure I miss nothing. Don't leave men out. Oh, what did I say? Yeah, I got my men. I got my army. Okay, partnerships, established organization, resources. Let me make sure that's it. Okay, here go the resources. Hallelujah. All right, from the elite. Black caucuses. Get some funding. Hollywood. Oprah, Tyler. Okay, sports. Braun. Rest of y'all. Media. Even congressional help. Corporate America. All of that. Reparations. What you did not know is that what you did not do, and what I have figured out, there is no statute of limitation on the reparations that you promised. So, you still owe us. It ain't going nowhere. The same way I had to wait for my motherfucking license. My ticket stayed there. You at the bank. Fuck you, pay me. That was for you, D. So, we just did who, what. I'm looking for what. Gotta go with what first. No, that would be where my order is. So stay with me. We want who first. We'll put why here, what. What is this? This is eschatology. Apocalyptic. End time prophetic. The most transformative period that we've ever had in this world. What? The mystery of the son of perdition has been revealed. Donald Trump. Final judgment. And I can't read Matthew 12. Ah, that would be me. The final judgment, the queen of the south. Let's talk about it. Matthew 12. You know what I didn't miss? I can't wait to break down Daniel. I'm going to come back to Daniel. When I talked about all those prophets, because I went back and listened to one of my videos. But Daniel, oh my God, his thing. I mean, come on. You know what? I digress. I feel like TDT. Like, yeah, I want to. Anyway, so let's go ahead to Matthew 12. Let's establish who I am. You stay with me. Don't even go nowhere. Go get some coffee or something. Don't you go nowhere. And why are we up anyway? It's because I have this in my hand and I don't want to knock any of this down. Okay? It's very important. To be decent and in order. Okay? So you just stay with me. Find something to look at. Here we go. I shall set that down. I shall pick this up. Here we go. Matthew 12. Go now. Ah, shit. A house divided cannot stand. We're not going to stay away from... how can be usable? How we're going to stay... I'm not even going to go there. It's just, you can read it yourself. We want to get around to where Jesus is talking to the Pharisees. A lot's going on in Matthew 12. He's revealing a whole lot. So anyway, it's very prophetic too. All the way to the smoking flax. Anyway, so here we go. Then certain of the scribes of the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. There's references there. But he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall be no sign given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. Now, I used to focus, what threw me off, and I have a date here, 7/23/98. I used to focus on, for as Jonas was in the belly for 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. Back in the day, yeah. So I have back in 7/23 that I would do that. But it wasn't God. It was just simply, and there shall be no other sign given to it but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And that just came to me when I started getting involved in this. It came recently. Jonas was a prophet who wanted inclusion. He was a prophet of love. It was love and peace for everyone. So I guess when that comes upon the land, that might be a sign. So I focused on that. I'm like, what are you doing 3 days, 3 nights in the belly? I couldn't get that. It was go up one, and it's the top of the place. It's the last sign. It's the top of the thing, but the sign of the prophet Jonah. So that spirit of Jonah is here. 41. The men of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation and shall condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Jonas. And behold, a greater than Jonas is here. This would be me. 42. The queen of the south is an indicator. Go back to Jesus saying in 39, these are the signs. There shall be no other sign given but the prophet Jonah. He talks about the men of Nineveh. I can break those down too. Deals with the Chaldeans. But I wanted to just establish who I was. The queen of the south shall rise. I come from a long, long, long way. You would always see somebody saying, I'm rising, I'm rising. Well, I have risen. I went through so much to get to this day and to this moment. The queen of the south shall rise in judgment with this generation and shall condemn it. For she came from the uttermost parts of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And behold, a greater than Solomon is here. Please get this woman of God to T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes is this generation's Solomon. Now, this part scared me, but it happened to me. I'm imagining in 98. Remember I got the spirit in 97? I was ready. It's like, Father, I know what you want me to do. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest and findeth none. I was still lost. I had got my calling. God gave me a vision. But I was still where I was. I was not yet here 23 years later. When an unclean spirit is gone out of a man, verse 43, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. Then he saith, I will return unto my house from whence I came out. God had cleansed me. And when he came, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits, more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of the man is worse than the first. Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation. I got delayed getting here. I had an addiction in between getting a calling. I got an addiction, and I'm here today. Some strong spirits came in 7 times more than just a simple addiction. Because, the devil had literally peeked into my future. He saw what God was about to bring me into. But he should have killed me then. I made it through. So, it is scripture what happened in my life. It's very significant. Dena Sabai. 13:15. For this people heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their hearts, and should be converted, and I should heal them. I'm going to stay there for now. I'm going to take a second, and I'm just going to hit pause, and I'm going to just connect back with my father, because Carolette, I said so much and I felt so much. I just need to connect back with my father, so I'm going to click off and click back on.